It was a pivotal series in San Jose this week as the Grizzlies played 6 games against the division-leading Giants in San Jose. Welcome to In the Den. I'm Tim Slack. We're on the road one more week before the Grizzlies are back at home tomorrow, and actually just in a couple of hours as Fresno will host the Visalia Rawhide. It's really the only homestand in the last month for the Grizzlies as they've been on their longest road trip of the season, just wrapping that up in San Jose, and then they'll be back on the road next week. So really do plan your trip out to Chansey Park this week. There are a lot of great games ahead, and we'll tell you more about that later in the Den. But one of the things common in the California League this year is all of the upgrades to facilities around the league. So I'm standing in San Jose's brand new batting cage, and it's one of, over half the league has had to re-up and revamp their player facilities. San Jose has done a terrific job, not only with this batting cage, but with their clubhouse, both for visitors and the home team, and the bullpens have had a complete makeover here at Excite Ballpark. Well, the Grizzlies felt pretty comfortable with the new digs, and they got off to a really good start. We're going to take a look back at the highlights from this week. We're going to get to know Riley Kelly, one of the new pitchers for Fresno. He was fantastic in his start on Friday night. And then we're going to take some more baseball journeys. That's all this week on In the Den.
One-two pitch. Renzullo lines it into left center field. Polanco running, and so is Bravo. Bravo dives. He can't get there. Fossum's going to score. Gray is right on his tail as he got a great jump. 2-run score. Renzullo into second with a double. And a late burst of life for the Grizzlies makes it 10-6. 3-1 pitch. Holiday strokes it into right center. A base hit. Nelson coming around, he will score. Brito off to the races. He's being waved around third. He scores as well. Ethan Holiday, a 2-run double. And the Grizzlies are within 1 here in the 9th. 0 for 3. The pitch, and he rips it up the middle into right center field. A base hit. Holiday scores, and Jacko Dowd has tied it. He's headed for second with an RBI double in the 9th. A 6-run deficit at the beginning of the inning, and the Grizzlies have erased it all. It's 2-2. Outfield is really deep. They're not even going to try and throw out Bernard at the plate. They just got to catch anything in the air. 2-2 from Langrell. This is driven into right center. They're not going to catch this. Into the gap off of the warning track and stops on the wall. Renzullo digging around 2, flying for 3, and now slams on the brakes and dives back into second. Another big RBI double for Carlos Renzullo, and the Grizzlies have their first lead of the night. It is 11-10 here in the 10th. 2-2 pitch. Nelson grounds it to the left side, past Reynoso into left field. Renzullo coming around, the throw from Bravo offline, and Cam Nelson adds an RBI hit as Fresno leads it 12-10. 1-2 pitch. Brito lines it past Reynoso into left field. Bravo charging in. They're waving in Nelson. That throws late, and Roldy Brito adds one more. An RBI hit to make it 13-10. Of the inning for Clausen. 2-2, breaking ball, caught, strike 3! And the Grizzlies complete the comeback. It is a glorious Tuesday night. The Grizzlies are victorious as Seth Clausen nails down the save as Fresno scored 9 runs in their final 2 at-bats, and they beat the San Jose Giants 13-11 in the series opener. What a wild one that was.
All right, we talk about going in the den, in the clubhouse, and we're going to meet one of the newest Grizzlies this week, Riley Kelly. 3 appearances under your belt, and I've been talking to everybody more about their journey. So I want to get to that in a second. But just to talk about, and you did it in the pregame show this week, but talk about just assimilating into this clubhouse. How excited have you been to be here, and what has pitching in professional baseball, pitching in the Rockies organization meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, I said it last time, but it's just so exciting, being with, a lot of the guys you got drafted with, and just a lot of the guys, who have the same mindset as you, and being around that kind of energy and that kind of clubhouse, it just makes you want to be out in the field and, play for these guys and, win some baseball games.
Well, let's talk about your journey a little bit to get to that point and why that feeling means so much to you. Grew up in Southern California, born in Southern California, right?
Yep.
Tustin, so Orange County area.
Yep.
What was it like growing up down there, and when do you remember falling in love with baseball?
Oh, wow. I mean, Orange County, it's a great spot to be. I don't have no complaints about Orange County. It's a perfect spot. But, falling in love with baseball, I remember I was maybe 7 years old when I was playing baseball. I played since I was 4, but I was really 7, and my dad, I wasn't the greatest player at the time, and I asked my dad, I was like, hey, can I bat leadoff today? And funny enough, we were playing the Giants, and they had this big right-handed pitcher, and I got hit off him. We were actually the Rockies, believe it or not, in Little League, so it was the Rockies versus the Giants. And I get hit off of him, and I think just then, I was like, wow, I want to do this, and this is what I want to do.
That's pretty cool to think about, and how fitting that all these years later, right, you're playing for the Rockies and you remember being a part of the Rockies. I was probably down in Southern California in college at about that time, not to age myself too much, but when you were in Little League. But so you remember that. What teams do you remember? What players do you remember growing up watching and really falling in love with watching the way they played the game?
I mean, this is going to be controversial because I'm a pitcher, but every, Orange County, Southern California kid has a place in their heart for Mike Trout. But the Jared Weavers of the league, and even Max Scherzer, I love watching that guy pitch, his intensity, and just some of the kind of those older names of the game today. But I mean, in the game today, all these new guys, a lot of energy, Paul Skeens, Terry Screwball is fun to watch too. So
what do you try and take from the pitchers that you watch when you're watching a game? What are you trying to pick up on?
I mean, the biggest thing for me has just been their focus with each pitch. If they yank a fastball, it's not just, oh, I had a bad pitch. It's what can I do off that yanked fastball for this next pitch to, work ahead in the count or get a strike. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
So we were talking about growing up in Southern California, kind of close to Angels Stadium. So I understand the Angels connection there. But talk about maybe when, as you said, you were maybe a late bloomer and you started to figure it out later, and after Little League isn't really a late bloomer, but talk about when you started to realize, hey, maybe this baseball thing could work out for me.
Yeah, so I remember going into 7th, 8th grade, we had just switched to the heavier bats, the drop threes, and I remember I was just the skinniest kid, I was batting ninth, when I was walking up there, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Pitching is always something I was kind of good at, but I wasn't throwing hard enough. And then, high school came around. I was playing football and baseball. That COVID year happened, where we played football and baseball at the same time. And I was like, man, this is a lot. And I was like, I feel like I have a future in baseball. I really want to pursue that. And I think that's just where it really took off. And I spent the whole off season, not playing football, but really working towards baseball and kind of putting my foot forward towards that, and I think it helped me grow a little bit.
So what were you doing on the football field? What positions were you playing? What was kind of your game on football?
I was quarterback. I was good. I wouldn't say I was the best quarterback in the world, but I was good. I want to say I had wheels, but I was definitely more of a pocket guy for sure. And I had, great receivers around me, so our coach always just try to get them the ball in their hands, and but I say the long ball is probably the best part of my game, getting the ball out there.
Well, that makes a lot more sense because we're looking at you now in your early 20s, and you have power fastball, you throw the ball hard. So strong arm quarterback makes a lot of sense, right? And stuff that you enjoy. So when you transitioned to baseball, how did you feel like maybe playing quarterback helped you on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely helped with like, just being calm and like pressure situations and, evaluating and, not speeding the game up because, being quarterback, you have to learn like reading defenses and, on the line type of stuff. So I think like situations in baseball, it happens a lot where you're pitching and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think it really helped with that.
Talk to me about at what point did you start to figure out that, hey, there's people interested in me beyond this high school thing. You got drafted in the 20th round out of your senior year. You're getting recruited to go to college. Talk to me about that process and just how you made that decision to eventually go to college.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to college and I always wanted to like, play for a good school and, get my degree and stuff like that, which I still don't have yet. But, yeah, I mean, where I was committed, UCI, there's a lot of like, great coaches, great team format over there and just energy. And I remember talking with the coaches at UCI and, I really loved what they had to say. I did a couple of visits there, like during some fall games or whatever. And, the guys only spoke highly of just what was going on there. And I was just like, it made me super excited to go. So that's definitely a big factor.
Well, so you forego signing and starting your professional career out of high school. You go to UCI. Talk to me about that experience. What did you learn there and how do you feel like they helped you develop?
Yeah, I mean, going into UCI, I was definitely kind of just like untapped, unfiltered, just like raw talent. And at UCI, like guys just do things right over there. You're not going over there to build 5 miles an hour. You're going over there to learn how to pitch, You throw the ball in the zone, you work ahead of counts. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, like developing more as a pitcher instead of a thrower. And I think that helped me like kind of continue on my career.
Well, certainly, I think you had this great junior year at UCI. You get drafted by the Rockies in the 4th round. I know you and I have talked about it, but what did that mean to you? What was that feeling?
I mean, it's been my dream, of course. Like baseball has always been my number one. And I've talked about it. I remember writing down in 6th grade, they said, what are you going to be in 10 years? And I said, I'm going to be playing in the MLB. And so it's kind of nice to, see me get drafted in the 4th round. And out of high school, funny enough, Gary Templeton gave me the call and said, hey, not the Rockies, but the Diamondbacks just drafted you, like, congrats. And it's just like, there's a full 360 when I got here, and it was Gary Templeton in the clubhouse. But yeah, it's just like an amazing experience for me and my family, my girlfriends, and it's awesome.
So you have, and I understand your love for baseball, and I think that's the purpose of why I love talking to you guys in these settings. But for fans who are interested in knowing about Riley Kelly, the person, you have worked so hard for that dream. What do you do to relax? How do you get away and kind of refresh yourself to be fresh for baseball?
Oh man, when you talk about relaxing, man, I'm not going outdoors on hikes. I'm not doing anything. I'm staying in. I love playing video games with my friends. I've been on this Brawl Stars game for a while now. I love just hanging out and just relaxing, sitting down on the couch, chopping it up with the friends of the family.
Was that the game that everybody's on the bus? Is that what I hear all the time? Or is that
right? That's right.
Okay, it's a little different.
I'm getting on that a little bit.
All right. Food spots. You're a Southern California food guy. Haven't really got to dabble at home yet because you just joined us in Fresno that first week.
Yeah.
But what kind of food are you looking for when you get to the Central Valley?
Oh man, I mean, back home, I'm a big sushi, poke guy. And it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's the same out in Central Valley, but, I'm looking for some good Mexican food and good Italians. I love carving up, before I throw out or just on a day off, like you said.
Well, we definitely know where to send you for tacos, and we definitely have plenty of good Italian spots that we'll have to introduce you to. What are you looking forward to the most about the rest of this year? What's kind of the goals and the idea? If I can get to this point with who I am at the mound, I would be happy.
I think the number one thing is, continuing on this journey of staying healthy and, building up innings and throwing well. And I think, you know, I just want to go out there every day and like say I had a good start. I don't want to, and it's not so like the results, but you know, what I came out there with, did I attack my plan? And it's more so just day by day for me instead of just long term.
Well, it's been fun to watch you day by day. Riley Kelly, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks so much, Tim.
Grizzlies pitcher Riley Kelly will be right back with more In the Den.
For 25 years, the heart of summer has lived right here in downtown Fresno. And now, baseball is back. Celebrate 25 years of memories at Chuck Chansey Park with the Fresno Grizzlies. Bring everyone with the friends and family ticket membership for just $149. Or catch the action all season long with the ballpark pass, just $99. 25 years downtown, and the best is still ahead. Fresno Grizzlies baseball, it happens here. Nelson, good lead at first. Kayama would have to get him as the runner goes, and Brito lifts it high into left field. Back is Bravo. Bravo at the warning track at the wall. He looks up. It is gone! Palakaye! Roldy Brito's fourth of the year. And the Grizzlies are on the board first tonight. Just two batters into the game. And he lifts one out into left field. This sends Bravo back. Bravo into the gap, reaching up. It's over his head, and it's off the wall. Holiday has another double. And he is going out to the opposite field. The left-handed bats for Fresno driving the ball out that way. 0-1 pitch. And this is hammered high and deep into center field. Back Polanco at the warning track. He's looking up, and it is gone! Fifth homer of the year for Thatch, just to the left of straightaway center. And the Grizzlies have a 4-0 lead. Edwin Villegas is coming out because I'm not sure if where he thought it hit, but it hit right above the yellow line. 2-1 pitch. And Barquette flares one out to right field. Long run for Renzullo coming towards the line. He dives and makes a spectacular catch. A belly flop right up against the foul line as that looked like extra bases. Payoff pitch, and Bravo lines it into right center field. Down for a hit. Level will score. Over to it quickly is Nelson. Bravo going to second. The throw is on the mark. Tagged by Holiday, and Bravo is out. Excellent throw by Cam Nelson. And Damian Bravo, for whatever reason, trying to push it down 6. But the first. That 7-run first. 1-0 to Holiday. Estrella kicks in, deals, and Holiday drives it deep into left field. Bravo back. Bravo at the warning track. This is gone! 6th homer of the year for Holiday. The Grizzlies immediately regain the lead as he goes oppo for the third time on this road trip. I mean, his ability to go out that way is impressive. Derek Bernard, a single and 2 strikeouts. First pitch from Estrella, and the breaking ball driven high and deep into center field. Polanco back. Polanco will watch it go! Palakaye! Derek Bernard, 6th of the year. 4th Grizzlies homer of the night. And Bernard is back.
Austin Newton, right-handed pitcher from Tampa, Florida. Since the moment I saw it, started playing Little League when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I was really the first person in my family to start playing baseball and then never looked back. I'd say my mom, but I also just kind of stumbled on it on TV and thought it looked cool, so fell in love with it from really the moment I saw it. Tampa Bay Rays, just being from Tampa, that was my team, so still kind of my favorite team, but grew up watching a lot of their games, going to a lot of the games in the stadium and all that kind of stuff. Well, I kind of always I knew I wanted to play college baseball, but I didn't really know the steps that I would have to take to get there. So I mean, I went to a public high school my first 2 years, kind of hated it, only wanted to play baseball, and then that summer going into my junior year, I played really well and had some college coaches reach out. So I ended up committing to the University of South Florida over that summer, and then starting of my junior year, I went to a baseball academy that was starting up with some of the coaches from summer ball. So took the opportunity to do baseball full time. So I knew that was all I wanted to do and all I wanted to do in the future. So I took it really seriously starting my junior year of high school. So yeah, I didn't want to hit it all in high school, and I stopped hitting after my sophomore year because it was too hard. I think so. I mean, I'd always been a better pitcher than position player, even when I was 10. So I figured once I got to a point in high school where I asked myself, if I were to face myself hitting as I was the pitcher 10 times, I think I'm striking out 10 times. So I knew hitting was out for me. I just wanted to focus on pitching full time. So I took it seriously starting then. So there was a lot of change in 3 years. So I had we had a different coaching staff every year, 2 different head coaches, 4 or 5 different pitching coaches, it felt like. So there was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of guys coming in and out each year. I was lucky to be there for all 3 of my years in college. So it's kind of different college experience than most, I would say, but this past year was the first year that we had anybody drafted since I was there as a freshman. So to get drafted alongside 2 of the other pitchers that we had was super cool. So, man, the run that I had at the very end of my year, I mean, I didn't have a college win until my last 2 appearances, and then those were my only 2 wins. So I struggled a lot early as a freshman, even sometimes as a sophomore, and then I was hurt coming into my junior year. So I battled back to get healthy and finished my career really, really strong. It was my best stretch of baseball was my final stretch of baseball at the college level, but looking to carry that on and into this year. So that was great. I knew I went through a lot on the field, off the field, but just where I started my career as a freshman and where I got to at the very end of my junior year, I put a lot of work in to see it finally pay off, and also it's something I've been working for my entire life. So it was something that was big celebration. So I was super happy to end up in an organization like this as well. It was good, very different vibe, but I think it was a very good first taste, and I'm excited to get a full season this year, my first season this year. So I'm looking forward to it. We had one trip to Long Beach State my freshman year, so this is my, I guess, second time. And then I've had some family. My grandparents, they snowbird between Tampa and Vancouver, Washington. So I used to go up there every summer. So I've had some experience on the West Coast, but this will be the first full, I guess, serving of baseball out here. So I'm super excited. I mean, this team is a lot of the guys that were drafted last year with me, so we spent a lot of time last summer and then this spring. So I feel like we got a pretty close group. Everybody kind of gets along, so I'm excited to share the field with these guys and go win a lot of games. I think this group is really, really talented, and I think we mesh well really together. So I think it'll be a super fun experience.
A chance at a winning road trip, a chance at a series victory, and a chance for a share of first place. Happy Mother's Day from Excite Ballpark in San Jose as the Fresno Grizzlies wrap up their longest road trip of the season, finishing a 6-game series against the San Jose Giants on this Mother's Day afternoon. So Dad could power something in, could tie this game. He drives it into left field, down for a hit. Brito will score. Going to third is Mendez. The throw is offline. O'Dowd's going to second. The throw redirected, and they get the out there. 1-2 from Foley. Gray lines it into left field, sinking down a base hit. In to score is Renzullo, and the Grizzlies immediately capitalize on the error. Lead at second, and this is pulled on the ground at first base, past the dive of Jacek and into the corner. Nelson can fly. Gray will score. Nelson will stop at second. An RBI double has put the Grizzlies in front here in the 5th. 1-2 pitch again, and he hammers this over the head of the second baseman, Reynoso, into right center field. Nelson going with 2 outs. And he scores easily as Thatch adds another RBI and another run to the Grizzlies' lead. Mendez walking lead off third. Thatch stagnant at first. 1-2. Lined into left field, a base hit. Mendez will walk home. Thatch around second. He's going to third. Big throw is left high from Polanco, and Thatch slides in safely. 28 game on base streak for Derek Bernard. And he adds an RBI single. 2-2 breaking ball. Right there, called strike 3. Got him looking as Reynoso goes down on strikes for the second time. 1-2 breaking ball. Cut on and missed. And Parker, another strikeout of Polanco. And another strikeout in the 7th. Inning continues for Cam Nelson. He flies it into right. Maldonado charging in, dives, and he can't make the catch. Siriaco being waved around as the ball ricochets towards center. Nelson flying for 3, dives in safe. It'll be an RBI triple for Cam Nelson, his 4th of the year. And the Grizzlies keep it going. 2-2 pitch. Fastball right on the inside corner, called strike 3. 2-2 from Crooks. Swing and a miss. He got him. It's a glorious Sunday afternoon. The Grizzlies are victorious, and they win it on Mother's Day 8-2. Fresno, a winning road trip. Its longest of the year. A series victory, and now a share of first place as they take 4 of the 6 games here in San Jose. Well, that'll do it from the road. That's Sharks Ice behind us here in San Jose. The Grizzlies finish up their longest road trip of the season. They will have another 9-game road trip, but that'll be broken up by the All-Star break in July, and that's in the second half when the Grizzlies head to Stockton and Visalia. They'll come out of the break and go for 3 games just down the 99 to the Rawhide. Of course, the Rawhide are coming their way to Fresno this week. Tuesday start at 11:05. Want to thank Riley Kelly for sitting down. Hope you enjoyed getting to know the Grizzlies a little bit more and seeing the highlights from this week and the way the Grizzlies have been playing over the first month plus of the season. On behalf of the Fresno Grizzlies, I'm Tim Slack. Thanks so much for watching In the Den.